Hi, a warm welcome to everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you to this exclusive Marketing Mondays chat on the future of B2B marketing, how to stay ahead of the curve, with our esteemed guest, Ravi Busi, who leads marketing for India and Middle East for Anunta Tech. In the dynamic world of B2B marketing, staying ahead is not just a goal, it's a necessity. Today, we have the privilege of tapping into insights and expertise of Mr. Ravi as we navigate through the evolving landscape of B2B marketing. Hi, Ravi. A warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. To set the stage, may I request a brief intro about yourself?
Absolutely. So, Ravindra, I am Ravi Busi. Like you mentioned, I am the General Manager Marketing for Anunta, who lead India and Middle East Asia marketing. So I was in Kindle and IBM. I have been in marketing for past 15 years. So that's where I stood all the way right from the beginning. So that's briefly about me.
Nice. So we have a set of thought-provoking questions that will act as a compass in our conversation. Just begin with, as we are talking about future of B2B marketing, what are the biggest trends and disruptions that will shape the future of B2B marketing?
Absolutely, Raghavan. Even before I answer that, I'll tell you how the marketing has evolved in the past decade or so. So marketing used to be the lead generator for the top of the funnel a decade ago. People were looking at marketing to create that top of the funnel, the first level leads, right? That's only one thing that marketing is responsible for, apart from creating a little bit of branding. And today it has evolved multifold. Marketing is not just responsible for creating that top of the funnel leads or just that initial funnel. Marketing is here now on the current day to create the long-term relationships of value with the customers. And also it is more in the creation of revenue rather than just sticking to the top of the funnel. It's also about creating that quality leads to the sales to get to the closure is something that organizations are expecting from marketing. In that landscape of increased responsibilities in marketing, right? The biggest trends that will disrupt marketing in the next decade or so are the AI, the rise of the AI. The generative AI is being extensively used already by a lot of marketers, right? Be it ChatGPT, be it Bard. This is for the content generation right now, but it will evolve moving forward for lead generation and also hyper-personalized. Bringing up that point of hyper-personalized marketing, again, hyper-personalized marketing is again a rising trend for the next decade, where you will see the content that is really customer-centric and also something that is very focused on account-based marketing. Right? This is one more trend that we will see disrupting in next decade or so. If you look at the other trends of marketing that will go on rise is also the influencer marketing. If you look at influencer community, there are wide sets of influencers, but if you look at B2B, there are two different sets of influencers that prospects or buyers would definitely consider as experts. One is somebody who is in the industry and have established themselves as an expert for over a decade or so, or somebody like a market analyst who work in a reputed organization. So these are the two kinds of influencers that most of the prospects will look at, right, in the influencer side of the marketing. And the last trend that I see that will evolve is the video marketing. If you look at the current day trend, people are used to the short videos and the snippets, and you don't mind looking at a 30-second ad in between the videos, right? So that's where marketing will have to play a key role in over a decade or so.
Fantastic. You really touched upon the points even that was going in my mind, like your AI tools, ML tools, then video marketing, personalized marketing, and even the demand generation, the ABM part of it. We'll touch upon all those points in our discussion. So when you talk about all these new technologies that is coming in the market now playing a major role, and going forward, you will have a more and major impact the way you design your programs, design your marketing plans. So what are the skills and qualities the marketeers should have, and those skills that are in demand keeping in mind the future of marketing?
Absolutely. So, I mean, as a marketer, you should be very good with the business acumen. When I say business acumen, it is about understanding your target buyer profile or your ideal customer profile. Then having a deeper understanding of your market, of which market you need to target, what are the demographics. Right? This is very important in terms of the business acumen. Then comes the interpersonal communication skills that every marketer should have. This is for creating that long-term relationships with the customer, establishing that trust. For that, you need to have strong interpersonal skills. Communication skills are also important for every marketer as such. If you look into the section of marketing disciplines where there will be a huge demand in future, I see it as data analytics, where data scientists play a very key role. Also, the digital marketers who work on social listening, social media are also on the rise. Even for that matter, the demand generation specialists who are good at marketing, MarTech and marketing automation tools will be on high demand. Content writers who are very good at the storytelling, creating narratives that are based on that are based on actually the customers at a hyper personalized level is something that are required skills and the skills that will disrupt marketing.
So we see, we spoke about what are the trends that are going to be, what are the skill set that the marketer should be equipped with. Though we have all these things, definitely there will be some challenges or some opportunities that we always see. How much ever the technology we use, how much we are equipped with the skills. So what are the challenges you see and the opportunities that you see going forward?
Right. So in terms of challenges, I see, like I said, as upskilling, constant upskilling is something that is always a challenge. You need to stay up with the trends. For example, like we were discussing AI, learning about AI, that human AI collaboration is something that needs to be addressed, right? That is a challenge right now. I mean, if you look at the people who use Bard or who use ChatGPT, if you don't know how you position a question or how you ask a question, it's always the challenge to get the right answer. Then it's also, I mean, even if there are some decisions made by these AI tools or the machine language tools, you always will have a kind of, you'll always need to justify why it is right? It's the data that is fed with biases. You always need to have that human judgment to actually justify why you take a particular decision. It cannot be just a decision of a human or just an AI. I think that's where I think is a key challenge that we will face in the future. And also now, as of today, we also have troubles with data privacy, ethics. Right? These are the areas that always troublesome for the marketers, where we see that challenges always growing, and we try to and tend to fix them as we see them, but they are the open challenges.
Definitely. So as we upskill ourselves, as the new technologies come, always there will be some challenges and opportunities. So it will help us to upskill again and again, learn, relearn, and unlearn. So those keeps like goes on a cycle. So just to take a leaf out of your first part where we spoke about personalized marketing. So how can B2B marketers create some personalized and engaging experiences for the customers?
Right. So, I mean, it's important for any B2B marketer or for any marketer to understand the target profile and their pain points. Your content should start with the pain point that we need to address for your specific set of audience. It is, there are multiple ways we can reach out to this audience. Once you define your customers, you know where they reside, where they look for the content or the message that they want to look at, or where they can find solutions for their pain points. That's how you start. I mean, that's where you start. But then you also need to understand that there are two different sets of your audience. One is your influencer community, the other is your buyer community or the decision maker community. Your influencer community is technically strong. They are the end users of your technology. I'm talking about the B2B. I mean, B2C is a different scenario where you are the consumer and you are the decision maker. But in B2B scenario, you will have influencers who are also the end users of your solution. And you have decision makers who are 3 levels or 4 levels up this influencer community. When you create content, you have to strike a balance where you know what content goes to whom. When you are addressing your influencer community, it has to be technical. That's something that they can understand, that directly addresses their pain point. And when you go to a decision maker community kind of content, you touch them upon the higher pain point that they have at their level rather than touching upon the one that end user or the influencer works on or the targets on.
So basically, it means the way you target your audience, the way you understand your customers' pain points, and the way you stitch your content as a storytelling to make them aware what you are trying to communicate. That's what the crux of this.
Absolutely. You need to have your right stories for the right audience at the right channels they are present in. For example, your influencer community might be very active within Facebook or within Twitter, while your decision maker community is active on LinkedIn. You need to strike that balance. I mean, I'm just giving an example here. Your decision maker community and influencer community will vastly vary upon the solutions that you offer, the products that we sell out in the market. That's how you start. I mean, you understand that and then create that compelling content for that individual set of audience.
So keeping all these things in mind, how can the marketeers create a more inclusive or equitable marketing landscape?
Right. So, like I said, first understand who your ideal customer profile is. Demographics play a very key role. I mean, there is a cultural mindset that exists within a geography, right? So you can't go with the same message that you have for a US citizen versus an Indian citizen. You need to understand your audience a lot better. You need to understand the demographics better, the cultural background. That is really important. Sometimes it's not only about keeping the content gender neutral. It's also very important. Sometimes it's something to make everybody inclusive, when they keeping it in a neutral tone is really important. There are certain audience who are challenged physically as well, right? So you need to be considerate about them, how you create content for them. And then somebody needs your content to be shown in a wide zoom or wide zooming arena. I mean, you should be able to think of that also while you're creating the content. Even for that matter, if you look at some of the European countries, like small countries like France, where they stick to French rather than English, you need to be considerate about, when you touch that set of audience, you need to be considerate about the preferences of the language that they want to see the content. You have to translate the content that you have defined for your global audience to that particular set of audience. It is really important to understand your customer, where they stay, their cultural background, like I said, to create an equitable and diversified content.
Very nice. You touched upon how do we manage the content when you are in your own country and when you're targeting the outside the country. So whatever we do, all these things, whether you're new age technologies and other activities, ultimately your funnel and activities, what you do, has to lead to some lead generation activity where you look at the kind of business, and which is the priority for today's market. So when we talk about getting into leads or planning to generate some business, what are the innovative lead generation strategies used emerging in the B2B marketing, and how effectively the businesses will implement those?
Right. So it all depends on kind of business that you are into. That's the first step, I would say. I mean, if you look at it in general, right, you do organic, you do paid ads. That's the usual thing. But when you say innovative lead generation strategies, ABM is something that every organization has to touch upon. Even the hyper-personalized content is something that organizations has to focus and create to actually generate those leads. I mean, The other area that people tend not to touch upon is understanding the intent of the customers or using of the predictive analytics, right? So unless you know what customer is searching for, you will not get right set of audience who can actually consume your content. So if you just spread the net wide across where there is no takers, I mean, it's not how you go into the market, but you have to understand the intent of the customers. You have to define your audience well. You need to predict their life cycle, how they are going to buy. That's really important. And I think it's also about creating that personalized and interactive content, which is lacking right now. Like I said, for your influencer community, it could be the technical content that you have to create. Again, that you cannot offer at one go, but you have to start small with an infographic. Then you may offer them a white paper and then a demo, which might interest them. I mean, creating that stepwise content is really, really important. That personalization and making it interactive is really very important. And then also using this conversation AI and chatbots. I think this is one of the least touched areas right now. But the kind of leads that they generate are exceptional. When you have somebody who is coming to your website and started conversing, they are a serious customer. You might not have somebody to address them right away at the point of time that they are conversing. But if you are effectively using your conversational AI or AI chatbots, they could bring in a huge set of good quality sales qualified leads into the pipe. Last but not least, the influencer community and the video marketing are the key areas that you need to touch upon if you want to create that innovative. If you want to innovatively go out and create the leads out for sales.
Definitely. So when you talk about leads, it starts from your ABM activity and how you personalize your content and what are the different forms of that content you consume or reach out to those people. Definitely play a major role in generating those leads and nurturing those leads. So keeping these things in mind, what role does interactive and immersive content play a role in capturing and maintaining the attention of B2B audience, even the decision makers in the digital landscape?
Right. So like I said, right, first, understand the pain point of the set of audience that you want to target. For example, if you are targeting a CIO, I'm taking it as a very wide example. For example, if you are targeting a CIO, so for a CIO, the pain point will be to stay updated with the current day technology. So you need to position your content so well. I mean, it could be the same solution where I talk to my influencer community as something that I solve for them on day-to-day basis. For example, the solutions on the digital workspace side, let's say. I mean, digital workspace solutions are the solutions that allow you to work from wherever you are. Right? So when I talk to the influencer community, I talk about the advantages that they will have working from anywhere. Right, you will have time for your personal stuff that you can do. You save on the commute time. These are the things that I talk to the influencer community. That's not the same thing that I should talk to a decision maker. When I talk to a decision maker, I should talk about the value that I create for them, right? The value that I create for a CIO or a CXO is that I give them a little more focused, engaged, or employees who can invest their time not in the commute but at work, where they can bring in a lot of value to the work and a lot of creativity into the work that there are two different sets of messaging. Like I said, right? Like you said, the stage wise development of the content is also important, right? When you start conversing, you can't give away the last piece of content that somebody might want to look at. It should be stage-wise content that you have to offer them based on the interest levels that they show while they start conversing.
Right. So we touched upon that most of the things that we do in the marketing in the current scenario and also what we look at in the future. So if I want to deviate a bit and ask you to optimize all your marketing campaigns or to generate leads or to be in touch with your community or the market, your consumers, are there event strategies that you do to attract leads or nurture your relationship and drive conversations?
Right. This is where a product marketer plays a very key role in any organization with their go-to-market strategy. Like I said, every marketer has to understand the customer, their market, right? They need to have a clear definition of their goals and objectives. But again, a clear GTM plan will have everything that covers under your particular solution or product or offering level. So there can be organizations who are solution focused. There can be organizations that are product focused. Your strategies will differ based on what kind of company you are or what kind of organization you are. But again, proper marketing plan, if you ask me, will have clear set of goals and definitions. The goals in the sense, what are your targets in terms of the number of leads that you want to generate? What is the revenue that you want to drive? What are the geographies that you want to touch upon? Who are your ideal customers and where they are? So when you define this, you will get to know where your audiences are actually gathering, right? Is it the physical event? Is it a webinar? Or is it something like um, a larger event, like a different forum where you can have your presence and gather that attention? You will get to know this only when you understand your basics, right? So a clear GTM plan will touch upon where your audience are, whether they are on social media, whether they are in physical events, whether they are interested in digital activities like webinars. This is what your go-to-market plan actually addresses, and this varies with the kind of organization you are. It's also about leveraging the power of analytics and course correcting, right? You will not get your plan right in the beginning, or for that matter, even if you are creating it every year, with the ever-changing trends of the buyers and the market, you have to course correct. That's where your analytics play a key role. You need to have strong analytics team where you can visualize that and course correct your GTMs on the and nurturing long-term relationships is something that one has to do no matter what kind of organization.
Really touched upon the large format events and even the small group events where that will help you to build the relationship, that physical connect, and your conversations thereafter to keep the engagement goes on. So apart from all these, just to touch upon the social media, as we discussed at the beginning of the conversation, what are the best practices B2B marketers should adopt in social media, and what are those platforms to engage with prospects and in a meaningful way, and how the video, which is playing a major role in the current trend, will have an impact on this?
Sure. So social media in this sense, I mean, is the digital side of catching up on your audience, right? So it's more of that. If you're looking for the influencer community, the people who are young, the Gen Zs who are the end users of your solutions, mostly they are into the general social media channels which are hyper personalized, like Facebook or Instagram. Right? So they are those are the areas that they'll look at often compared to Twitter or LinkedIn, where they spend less of time when compared to the other social channels. Right? If you want to touch upon your influencer community, you need to bring in your message to that side of audience in a way that fits into the content in that particular channels. For example, if you want to go on an Instagram, you can't go with a message or a blog link that you have on a LinkedIn. It will be of interest for nobody, right? When you're talking to your influencer community, you talk to them about their pain point in a short video that is shot within your organization with the same kind of people who are sitting across on the floor, right? That will generate a lot of interest. People will tend to relate when they see that short snippets of video, right? That's how they connect. That's how they start building the trust with the brand. With the influencer community, it's always focused to build your brand rather than selling it. Right? So similarly, if you look at your CXO audience, they are serious. They really need the business to grow. They really focused on numbers. When you talk to them in a formal tone, right, where you give them the value addition whenever they want to look into. I say, hey, do you know that this is the disrupting technology that is coming up? Do you want to understand that in 5 minutes? Here is the read. But that will catch their attention. So using social media tactfully is very important. It's not only building your relationships, it's also about building your trust, brand. There is a lot that you can do on social media. You can drive organic followers. You can also work on your paid ads, again, to this influencer community or even to your decision maker community, based on how you want to position your paid promotions. I think those are the best practices that one should keep in mind when they go out of the social.
Yeah, really. You made it clear to which are the platforms that you need to use for your influencer community and which are the platforms that you need to use for the serious conversations with the senior leadership. Beautiful. So across all these things, when you do all the marketing activities, events, lead generation, ABM, on social media, at the end of the day, your ROI matters a lot on each every campaign. So how the marketeers measure the ROI for their marketing campaigns?
Absolutely. So like I said, right, so there are multiple ways that you go out into market. There are two ways to look at it. One, where you drive leads where the cost is involved, where the budgets are involved. The second one is driving leads through organic way, now be it on social or on digital media or with your simple email campaigns, right? They also involve a little bit of cost, but in terms like they are organic. Right? So when you touch upon the paid side of it, always you have to understand your cost per lead. If you're going with a third-party agency or a telemarketing agency who you have deployed, right, to create some leads for you, that's when you understand how much you have paid and how much you're getting in return, right? You always understand how much is converting into the revenue. You have to work backwards to understand how much it's costing per lead and see the different paid tactics that you deploy out in the market and follow the same. I mean, how much you're spending as a budget on a particular paid promotion or a paid activity, how many leads you're getting in return that are converting, right? That actually gives you in that ROI and also gives you a good idea of what tactics are working and what are not. I think ROI goes beyond just measuring this budgets and the outcomes of the revenue generated. For marketing, it's also important to understand how much brand value we have created. This is where I think the advanced analytics play a key role. You need to understand how much of engagement that you're creating on social, what kind of posts or what kind of content is changing that engagement, and which set of audience on what platforms is something that is really important for the marketeers to understand. I think that is also a calculation of ROI in a way for the organic side.
Beautiful. You nicely touched upon all the aspects. How do we measure your ROI? Thank you. As we are getting close to the time that we allotted for this, one last question before we wind up. So what are the best ways the B2B marketeers look at to stay ahead of the curve? And what are your predictions for the future of B2B marketing?
Absolutely. So like we started, right? I'll say again, it's the AI that people have to upskill themselves. They have to stay up to date with the AI generated tools that are out there in the market. There has to be increased emphasis on the data analytics. That's how you measure the ROI, like you rightly asked, right? That's how you justify why you exist as a marketing team and how you are creating that value to the company and also value to the customer. You need to have increased emphasis on your data analytics. Hyper personalization of the content is really, really important. That's where the future is going to be. Be it your ABM, be it your customer centric messaging. that you go with, that hyper personalization is something that has to be kept in mind. Usage of influencer community, understanding who your right influencers are, and using them to the best. Using the videos to the best, the storytelling, and creating that narrative, adapting to the ever-changing market trends and the buyer interests. These are the things that are really, really key. Above all this, constant learning and upskilling. It is the need of the hour, and it will stay as the need of the hour forever.
The default.
Yes.
So what is any predictions that you want to see?
Like I said, right, the conversational AI voice search is something that's going to take over at some point of time, and organizations has to really focus on the conversational AIs and the voice searches that will bring them in more quality and right leads out there.
Beautiful. So as we draw close to our conversation, a big thank you for sharing your valuable insights, information, and expertise. Thank you very much, Ravi. And I hope our discussion has been both enlightening, informative, and inspiring. Your perspective has provided me as well and our audience with a compass to navigate the ever-changing landscape of B2B marketing. And the key always lies, the key, not just keep up the change, but stay ahead of the curve. So thank you for all the other people joined us and exploring the future of marketing. Until next time, stay curious, stay ahead, and continue the shape of the future of B2B marketing. Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, Raghavendra. Thank you.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.